Hello again and welcome to TVC News this hour. We're staying with the ruling delivered by a federal high court in Abuja on Friday, which struck out 8 of the 15-count charge relating to treasonable felony and other related offences as alleged by the federal government against the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra body, Nnamdi Kanu. In her ruling on the validity of the charge, Justice Binta Nyako held that counts 6 to 12 and 14 didn't disclose any offense by the defendants, while counts 1 to 5 as well as 8 and 15 show some allegations. Celestina Area reports.
Nyako ruled on the validity of the charges brought against Nnamdi Kanu, striking out some, while pointing out that the other charges have weighty allegations. She noted that the trial of the defendant shall proceed on these charges not struck out. She also held that rendition for the purpose of a criminal investigation is allowed. In the instant case, there is a bench warrant on the defendant, and this makes him a fugitive before the court. The court also stated on the issue of proscription of IPOB, the case is still on appeal and the order prescribing the organization is still subsisting until it is vacated. Counsel to Mr. Kanu moved an application for his bail, submitting that until a person is tried and convicted, he should be allowed to walk free. On his part, counsel to the federal government, Magaji Labaran, urged the court to refuse the application, adding that Mr. Kanu had allegedly violated the earlier bail granted him. He urged the judge to be guided by her discretion vis-a-vis the circumstances of the case, and in the alternative, should order accelerated hearing on the matter so that the defendant can know his fate one way or the other.
Today, after the counts were quashed, we then proceeded to move our bail application. The defendant, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, deserves to be granted bail. The case of the prosecution has always been, and this is sheer falsehood, that Nnamdi Kanu jumped bail, and that was why he was forcibly renditioned back to Nigeria.
The court, in its wisdom, now reviewed all the charges and discovered that with the exception of 7 counts, about 8 counts appear to be similar, and those charges were struck out.
The court adjourned till 18th May for ruling on the bail application of Mr. Kanu. Celestina Area, TVC News, Abuja.
And now to the challenging level of insecurity in Kaduna State, where at least 141 Nigerian Air Force troops have been trained on how to effectively protect critical national assets, including military bases. And the training has been deemed essential following the invasion of a couple of critical national assets by terrorists within the past month. Luperasum has more.
Protection of critical national assets, to properly guarding military bases and also providing effective response to terrorist attacks. These are parts of the skills over 140 troops have acquired after months of training at the Regiment Training Center in Kaduna. The aim is to better position the force to effectively address emerging security threats bedeviling the nation. In a simulation exercise, the troops display their skills to thrill their superiors. With the asymmetry nature of the threats by terrorists, the Air Force bosses believe there's no better time to scale up military trainings, intelligence operations, and emergency response systems.
Critical Assets Protection Squad course was structured to meet the ever-changing complexities of military operations in irregular, asymmetric warfare scenarios. This is because in an environment where the nature of the threat is becoming increasingly complex and encompasses the entire spectrum of warfare, highly trained and motivated forces that are equipped with the appropriate weapons and requisite operational equipment becomes very critical.
The Chief of the Air Staff, who was represented by the Air Force Chief of Policy and Planning, charged the troops to discharge their tasks with a high level of professionalism.
I implore you to remain resilient and focused as you strive to fully develop your potentials in the areas you are gifted. Nigerian Force expects you to always be at your professional best for effective and efficient performance in the course of your career.
And troops who were outstanding in the course of the training received awards. The Air Force assures that more troops will be given further training within and outside the country, and hopes are high that with such developments, an end will be put to the destruction of national assets across the country. Lupe Asom, TVC News, Kaduna.
And some students in Rivers State have joined the call for a stop to violent attacks in the country. They were speaking in the Rivers State capital, Port Harcourt, about the deadly Kaduna-Abuja train attack of last week. The group lamented how terrorists really carry out attacks on Nigerians daily. Senior correspondent Uche Okoro has details.
And I remember my comrades, but I run away that I do.
Some past and present student leaders in Rivers State are lending their voices to the wave of insecurity sweeping across all geopolitical zones of the country. According to them, they have watched with dismay as hundreds of innocent Nigerians are either killed or abducted by criminal gangs. They are demanding justice for the young and promising Dr. Chinelo Nwando and others who died in the Kaduna-Abuja train incident last month.
We have observed a minute silence for the 8 persons confirmed dead as a result of the attack on these innocent Nigerians. Foremost is our dear Dr. Chinelo Nwando, who was a University of Port Harcourt trained dental surgeon. We have also offered prayers for the over 168 persons declared missing by the Nigerian Railway Corporation.
With the railway attack still fresh in the minds of many Nigerians, they questioned the timing of a political rally organized by the Rivers State chapter of the All Progressives Congress in Port Harcourt.
It would have been noble that the minister display statesmanship in similitude of his fellow party man, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who called off his annual birthday celebration in honor of all those who suffered the attack.
But the APC in Rivers State insists that one of the objectives of the event is to seek divine intervention in the country's security situation.
You know, when you prepare for something, you've already made commitment and all that, and this thing happened, we say, look, first we're going to pray for the nation Nigeria, and pray for those souls that has passed, those souls that have been kidnapped. And we thank God for the successful congresses and convention we had in our city. You know where we're coming from and where we are right now.
For the party, everyone must work together to make the nation safe, as the problem of insecurity cannot be blamed on any particular individual. The party also denies that the federal government is more concerned about the coming election than the security of lives and property. And so, despite the controversies, the party insists that the program will hold as scheduled. Uche Okoro, TVC News, Port Harcourt.